I think it would really be a good area for in terms of marketing.
Okay,
That
we're
we have.
here. We're on record.
Voila!
Here we
Hello,
are.
good day.
All
It's
right, so this is so
September 5th.
exciting. So here I am. I'm coming from lovely sunny Sydney, and we have Maria, or fondly known as Tiny, with us. Tiny is celebrating 5 years with us. It feels like
Yes.
longer though. It feels like much longer. Feels like you've been with me forever. You and Cherry, like I feel like you've been with me forever, but
I know.
in a good way. In a good
But
way.
in a good way, I would say.
In a really good way. So this is exciting for me because, you and I always chat online about work stuff, but we never actually really sit down and have a proper conversation. So welcome.
Yeah, I think that's the life of the working remotely, and it's something that we all expect that would happen.
Yeah.
And it's really nice from time to time we can catch up and see each other's face. At least I know that I'm working with someone and not the
Not a
robotic one.
robot. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
That's
Because it does
that's
become like that. It's very easy
exactly
to have every
right.
piece of communication over email or over Skype, right? Yeah.
Certainly. And that's something that most people think. It's just, automated things. This is for real. We have people that we talk to. We are real people here.
Yeah.
Human individuals who really work for someone else. So
Yeah.
working with V for 5 years really helped me develop my fear of communication. Do
Yeah.
I have that?
You don't have a fear of communication. What are you talking about?
I feel like I'm saying something that's not real.
Yeah, it's not real. You're the best communicator. There's no fears on your
Oh
behalf.
my goodness. Uh, take two.
I know. Take two.
No,
All right. All right.
I'm
So
not afraid talking.
no, exactly. So tell me about who is Tiny. Tell me who you are.
I'm introvert, you know that. I'm an
No,
introvert, but a lot of people doesn't want to believe that. I
no,
don't know why. Please believe me.
no, not at
No,
all.
I have been working with Virtual Elves ever since stopped working from the company that I've been with, 2014, and having an experience with events management, marketing, and sales. Those are the things that really pushed me, or drive me, or motivated me rather, to
Mm,
really work still from home and be productive. And I'm very thankful and grateful that during the time I was doing my research, I had no idea where to begin,
mm,
how to start, who to communicate with, where do I submit my application for that
yeah.
matter. And I saw your company, I saw your profile. I think it is a picture of you and another lady. I'm not sure who she is. And I said maybe I can submit my application and give it a try. And then voila, Cherry contacted me because there was a client looking for something like they need someone who has an events management experience.
Mm,
Although I will be honest, I told Sherry I have not worked from home before. Although I have the experience, I think I can bring something into the table. But the thing is, I really do not know how it works. So Cherry was too kind enough to tell me how things are running or how things will go. And the first client I've ever had is so nice. Her name is Danita from She
mm,
Business, and she really trained me together with her husband. They really taught me how to run the side of the business in terms of handling the events. And
mm.
from there, I was really interested to know more. So I pushed myself. Hey, Tiny, you should learn to do this. Hey, Tiny, you should add this to your skills. Hey, Tiny, you should develop this on your own. So from there, little by little, I've learned a lot of things which I've never learned when I was
Mm,
working in a company. And I would say there's a big difference from the corporate scenario rather, or the office-based thing, and if you're
mm.
going to work from home. There is such a big difference, which people doesn't know yet, especially those who are trying to look for jumping from office-based to home-based. They
Yeah.
think experience is just enough. I would say it's not.
No, and
It's an
I can
edge.
say
It's
that
an edge.
because I remember when Cherry said, I think I've got someone who would be great. I remember that it wasn't your experience that got us interested in you. It was your attitude. It was your willingness to learn. It was the fact that you were so bubbly, and so you matched our values completely. And that we were looking,
Thank you.
yeah, but we were looking for people who, it wasn't about, the fact that you could do the job. It was how you would do the job. It was how
Yes.
you would communicate and connect with our clients. It was all of that sort of stuff. And, that was the reason. And that's the reason why you're still with us, because you've got this willingness to help attitude. And I think if you will learn anything and find out anything and recommend anything to improve the customer journey, then, that's what people need in a business.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Right now, I see our the way we work together as a team. Yes, there will be a lot of things to improve. I would say so. But then again, we also have to look into the pacing of it. I
Yeah.
believe there's ways of improving it. Certainly, it will take time for us to really develop something because of the fact that we all work. I also work with a different client that you also assigned with me. So those are the things that keeps us going as a team, Tina, me, and Sherry. So whenever we think about of what are we going to do, how are we going to make our VAs happy, just let them talk to me.
That's it. Yeah, exactly right. So we know about the work Tiny. What about the at home Tiny? Who are you? Who's your family? What do you love doing?
Oh, I have three wonderful kids, and they're all grown ups. My daughter is also a virtual assistant. She handles a social media. She's a social media moderator for a
Mm,
client. She's 23, and my two other kids are still studying. And my youngest is already 13 years old. So really, I would say I have no babies anymore. They're all grown
yeah.
ups. And my husband works in Coca-Cola as a
Mhm.
salesperson. And we're a happy family, I would say, thanks be to God. And
Mm,
we always go out every weekends, and that's what I look forward to because of the time and schedule that we have.
yeah.
So whenever it's weekend, I really look forward to weekend. I'm really a one man woman person. Everything is handled by me, although my husband helps me with in terms of the chores
Mm,
because he can see how busy I am as well. So I'm a very strict mother. It doesn't
yeah.
show, right?
Good. No, I can imagine that. Yeah.
I'm very strict. Whenever there are rules to be followed, it should be followed, especially
Yeah.
for my kids. And I believe that is how we should really um, bring them up so that they would know how to respect properly. Respect
That's
doesn't
it.
just follow when they're afraid, but
Mm,
respect they should follow and respect it because they love you and they value what you also teach them. So I'm
mm,
happy how my kids
mm.
grow up
And I think
with
it's
those.
important because I think children, I see this so many times. Children need boundaries. Children need
Exactly.
boundaries. They need direction. They need that. They can still be independent and creative within boundaries, if you
Yeah.
set them. But, I think a child that has boundaries and has routine and has, things like that, they're the necessities of life, of to being
Yes.
able to stay on track with things, to be focused, to be, all of that sort of stuff.
Giving
I
them
think,
that values, that they
yeah,
feel
it's
are
important.
really important. Yeah.
I'm strict
Otherwise,
too, Tiny.
yes, I mean, as a parent, we
Mm,
should be, right? But we
yeah,
can balance that between allowing them when you should be lenient and when you should be disciplined or when you should be
yeah,
strict in things that you feel like it will
mm,
harm them in some way. So,
mm,
but if it comes to something that they love to do, which I think we can support them and we can
mm,
afford to support them, and of course we will be there for them.
yeah,
So I'm happy
definitely.
that they're
Mm,
doing fine in school, and we have an open communication. That's one thing that I love. We have a family meeting every weekend. I set that up
mm,
since they were kids because I want to hear their side of the story. For example, how are they doing in school? I don't want them to keep secrets in the family, and that's the
yeah,
start. If you cannot open a communication with their kids, that's the start of trouble.
yeah,
Rather than them talking to you, they would find peers that they can talk to, and that's where bad influences comes in because they
yeah,
can tell a lot of things to your kids and you cannot be in control of. So rather
mm,
than having that or experiencing that, we made our communication open for all of our kids. So that's it.
Yeah.
As I think that's part of the values of the Filipinos. But since the technology nowadays, it's eating so much of our children's life,
Yeah. Yeah.
the gadgets that they have. So you're right when you said you should set boundaries. As a parent, we know better, right? So I
Mm.
don't allow them to be taken so much of using the gadgets. They have the time for that, and they do have the time for homework. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Great.
and that's one thing I would say. Working from home, you can really manage that side of your life compared
Mm.
when I was working in a company. I don't know what they're doing. I can't see them.
So that's my
6
next
hours.
question is what did, you know, making that move from working in a company to working from home, what did that allow you? What did that give you?
First and foremost, the company that I was working with before doesn't have a weekend schedule, and it always clashes with our church activities. My family always goes to church every Sunday,
Yeah.
and that reason I said this is not the life I really want to be, especially my kids are growing up.
Mm.
So before I left the company, I really thought of and prayed, is there a way that I can still earn and be productive? Because actually the earning follows. I just want to be productive because I've been working since 18 years old. So
Yeah.
I am I am really a person who doesn't stop working. So when I saw the opportunity, that really pushed me and drive me. Okay, I think I can do this. But then again, I have to find out the right way how to begin or how to start.
Mm.
And
Mm.
and from that moment on, I don't want my kids to grow up not being there when they need me the most. And it's really difficult working. I'm not saying it's not a good idea to work in a company or in a corporate,
Mm.
especially if you're single. That's not a question. But then when you have family already, you try to look for the work-life balance, which
Yeah.
I don't believe the company is really providing you with. Because at the end of the day, even if it's your day off, they would still contact you. They would still inform you or ask you questions like, hey Tiny, where is this, where can we find these files?
Mm.
And the system, the processes that we go through when you're working in a company is like what I said, different when you're
Yeah.
working home based, because of the tools that we use are far different, and we don't have that much tools when you're working in a company, right? It's all
Yeah.
manual. So it's
Mm.
all in your brains, it's all in you. When you leave the office, they would follow you through and ask you, hey, where is this? Because nobody knows except you. So
Yeah.
that's the fun thing when you're working from this kind of a career. I really consider this as a career. Others may think of it as, just typing and sitting down and looking at your laptop. When I see or hear people say that, I really get pissed off and tell them, you know what, this is
Yeah.
the job and the career that brings money to my family. I don't look at it that way. So I'm really educating people that you have to give value to what you do. Otherwise, you will not really stay that long in this kind of you will not even stay longer with a client if that is your mindset. You just want to earn. You really have to love
Yeah.
it. You really have to have that passion from what you
Mm.
do.
So what are the
And
other
second,
things then that people need to have to be successful in this industry?
I think first and foremost they have to have that mindset, the right mindset.
Yeah.
The attitude, like you said, is very important. Why? Because of the fact that when you're working from a corporate, and then you leave, you have that feeling of being boastful that, I'm a manager in a company already. It would be that easy for me if I'll apply as a home based.
Yeah.
They look so little, or they belittle the position or the careers from home based. So I feel like if that kind of a mindset is what you're going to bring in this kind of field, I think you really have to do a lot of research first,
Yeah.
study a lot, and learn what culture do we have and what culture you should bring in. Because at the end of the day, it's not you who will be following or will be leading your client.
That's
It's the
right.
way of both of you has to work together well. Otherwise, at the end of the day, you would really be ending jumping from one job to another, one client to the other, which is not
Mm.
really good. So in
Yeah,
order
I
for you to
agree.
really stay that long, you have to have that understanding of what you're into, what are you going into.
And one thing that I think is really helpful whenever I've been speaking to VAs who are interested in starting is think of it like it's your own business. So think of it like you're
Yes.
coming into this and you're setting up a small business. This is your
Mhm.
business. You are responsible for how much money you earn, really.
I was
Yes, when
I
you
was
work with
about to
Virtual
say,
Elves, you know, we find clients for you and whatnot, but the ultimate outcome of how much you earn is based on
yes,
how well you work with your clients.
exactly.
Yeah.
Before our call, I was contemplating what to say because I was thinking of the answers to your questions. Of course, I have to be ready. And then I was saying, we're like business owners of our own. We own this. It's the time that we manage. It's
Hmm.
how we really communicate and work with the clients. So if our clients are thinking a lot about their business, we should be that way. Because if they grow bigger or if they thrive into their business, we also thrive. I mean, we will be a part of their success.
Yeah.
Just like what happened with Monica and I. The last minute we were both together, although it never ended nice. But at least, the feeling of me being with her still at the last
Yeah.
minute, although there was a thought of me before, I never knew she got sick, to really
Mm.
resign from she business. But then I said I did the right decision to stay.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
happy that it happened that way,
Yeah.
although sad
Definitely.
on the other part.
Of course. Yeah, of course. But no, I think that's important. I think the attitude definitely, the way you go into this, you know, and not accusing, not expecting, not, you know, it's all
Yes.
of those things. I think if you go in expecting it to be easy or you're expecting it everything to be handed to you or, you know, then you won't make it in the business. Or
Exactly.
if you go in and um you can't communicate. You know, communication, as we
Yes.
were talking about, is one of the biggest things. I know our
It's a
clients, when
challenge.
they're talking to us, yeah, the biggest thing that they struggle with is lack of communication. And whenever I'm
Yes.
talking to a client, the biggest thing that they say to me around previous experiences that haven't been good, it's because a VA has just disappeared, you know,
Exactly. And
just
which is not a
disappeared.
good thing.
No.
Yeah. They're generalizing it, and it's sad for us who are really there and
Mm,
continuously being a part of their business. And
yeah.
whenever I also speak with other aspiring PAs, that's one thing that I also tell them, you know what, if you are not a good communicator, not in the sense of, speaking at all, but,
No.
the promptness of answering
Yeah.
messages, those are key elements if you really want to work and to thrive, to succeed in this business, because of the fact that's the only way your clients can reach out to you. And then here you are, not even minding if you would like to
Mm,
answer. I experienced that myself, whenever I reach out
yeah.
to our wonderful PAs.
That's
I would
right.
tell them, hey, answer me, because
That's
it's
it.
not a good, yeah, it's not a good thing. I mean, you really have to open your platform, because
Mm,
that's the only means that we can reach out to you and hear the side of your story, and vice versa with your clients. At
mm,
the end of the day, we have to make sure that the clients are, understand where we are at, what are we doing, are we accomplishing what they're asking from us. So it's
mm,
really vital that we
yeah.
offer. You know what, in my case, I really do not tell my clients not to contact me on a weekend. I open my platform. It's really up to them if they want to message me.
Yeah, of
But
course.
what I'm telling them, if I may not answer or respond to you on a weekend, but I
Yeah.
would acknowledge whenever I read, it means to say I've already got it, or like Janine and I, we had a very, I would say, nice communication set already for both of us. We have a good process already. We had our meeting last Monday, and we were both happy with the system that we have.
Mm,
She created Wonderlist for her own checklist, and whenever she's running about, she would just send that to me and tell me, "Hey, Maria, please do this for me." So we're both
yeah.
happy with the system that we have. So
Mm,
certainly, I think that's the most important thing. Understand
yeah.
what your client needs, and make sure that you provide that for them. If there's any problem, and then you can really talk about it.
Mm,
Again, it's
I
communication
agree.
everything.
So you've done this for 5 years now. What's in your future? What are your
Yes.
goals?
I want to be a trainer, really. I'm
Yeah.
envisioning myself with that because it's really getting bigger.
Yeah.
The scope, I think it's more globally 3, 5 years from now.
Mm.
Office space will be diminishing. Sorry for that, guys,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
reality. So if you teach a lot of people, I think the the essence there is you have the experience. You just really have to understand what kind of a flavor are you going to set for yourself, or what kind of branding do you want to have to set for yourself in order for
Mm.
you to approach and come into this kind of career. Because again, it's a career, it's your
Yeah.
business. You have to be I think the biggest challenge people are experiencing right now, they think
So,
of it there as an applicant. They always think of themselves as an applicant.
yeah. Yeah.
That's I think the best thing that has to be improved or changed or rectified. I would not say rectified, to be changed somehow.
Yeah.
Because if you're always thinking like that, your attitude will always be as an applicant. Where in fact we are not an employee employer. We do not have that kind of a relationship. We are
Hmm.
not in that
That's
boundary. We are
right.
contractors, right?
Yeah,
So
you have to
yeah,
sell yourself. Like, it's not that. It's one biggest thing that I sort of say is, and my clients love this, is you give me, as a client, you give me your job description and you sell what it is that you can
yes,
offer,
yes,
because
exactly.
we will put that to the VA and it's their choice whether they want to take it
Yes,
or not. So we know then that we have the best match because the VA's invested, you're invested, but if you try to force somebody to do something that they're not invested in, then it doesn't necessarily work.
yeah.
So
It will
there
fail.
has to be that
It will fail.
investment. Like you said, it's that going into being a VA is going into, basically running a business. How are you going to do
Yes,
that? What money do you want to earn? It's not being an employer where everything's just given to you and you
been given
follow
to
it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Imagine
Initiative,
our
it's, yeah.
you should have the initiative to really understand what you need to add into your skill sets, because you don't for me, I just don't want to be typing. I
Mm,
don't want to be doing data entry all my life. That's why
yeah.
I pushed myself. I just don't want to be someone else who will be given a task. I want
Yeah.
to be a part of it. I want to be able to suggest. I want to be able to say, you know what, I think this would be great if you would allow it, because that's how the clients would look at it.
Mm,
Of course, it varies. It depends on what kind you have. There are
sure.
different minds of clients, so you
Mm,
just have to follow through. But then again, you have to get the feeling of it. Are you working well together? Because like what you said, it's really a match not only with the skill sets but also with the attitude.
that's
If
it.
the attitude is not aligned, your values are different, I don't think you would even last. So I'm very happy that with most of the clients that I have right now with DE, um, I think with Paula, I have already been with her for a year, and same with Janine. So we are lasting. It may not be a regular thing, but at least it's something that I would say, this is my client. We've been
That's right.
working for a long period of time.
Mm,
I own it, or something like
yeah.
that. Something like that. So if I'm not happy with the way a client treats me, I also tell Cherry,
Mm,
Cherry, we know for a fact that we are VAs, but of course you are looking for someone who would treat you with respect as well. So I'm very open. If I'm not happy with it, I would tell her, and we have that understanding. Because
yeah.
rather than ruin the brand that you're carrying, which is VE, I'd be honest. Maybe if this is not the right match for me, I don't
That's
think
right.
we're having that kind of working relationship. I
Yeah.
don't think it's really working for us. So
Yeah.
I think we would find someone else who would fit for her or him. I'm not saying any particular client, but at least
It's
when you
important.
have that feeling, yes, when you respect that feeling, don't let it eat you up, and then at the end of
Mm,
the day, you will just disappear from that client and say, I don't want to
mm,
work with that client anymore. You have
that's
a
right.
brand to protect, especially if you're working with an agency. You have to think that, okay, this agency will be ruined because of my
Yeah.
attitude. So you have to
Mm,
have that communication. Open it up. Talk to the
mm,
client, or if the client doesn't want to listen to, then go to your HR. That's it.
yeah. So what is something, here we go, here's a bit of an interesting topic. What's something that most people wouldn't know about you?
I'm very open. But the thing is, I'm introvert really. They don't know that. And they
Mm,
don't want to believe that's true. Every time I do the disc profile test, I come out to be an introvert person. And I myself, I can't believe that. Maybe because, um, I also love to work on my own.
yeah,
A lot of people doesn't believe that too because they find me so bubbly. I'm a team player, yes, but I
yeah.
prefer to be working on my own. I can work with a team,
Mm,
but rather than waiting for others to respond to something, I get irritated immediately whenever there's no response, or people
mm,
are not really doing their part. So I'd rather do it on my own if um it will be permitted. But then again,
mm.
I can adjust myself accordingly because I would say I'm old enough to understand the kind of people I'm working with. So that is
Yeah.
something that they do not really know of me. I easily
Mm.
get irritated when things are not, getting done. Just like what one task that you gave me after you pulled it out for me, I said, "Oh my goodness, I know I can do that." I said, "I know I can do that." Maybe it wasn't just clear to me how you really want to
Yeah, yeah.
communicate. But at the end of the day, I feel sorry for myself. Well, how come you didn't finish that timing?
Uh,
That's just me, at least,
yeah,
Ryan.
exactly. We've
If
all
I
got
don't
those things.
accomplish, yeah. So if I wasn't able to accomplish something, I'm regretful that why did I give my best, something to that effect.
Yeah,
So people think
an
that I'm
introvert.
very
Mm,
um, outgoing. I may be, but there are certain areas in my life that I'm not. I'm just very confined.
yeah, interesting.
So
Interesting. Yeah, well, it is definitely something that I would never have thought about.
yeah.
So, so you want to, do some like training is a sort of long term plan for you. What about? I always ask this question: if you were given the opportunity to go anywhere in the world, where would you like to go?
Honestly, I'd like to go back to Brunei.
Yeah.
The life there is so simple, as
Mm,
if they don't really run after time. That's just I mean, I've been there once, and I feel like it's so relaxing. Not to the point that you just want to relax for a vacation, but the lifestyle that they have there,
yeah.
it's so easy. They don't really run after time, like there's no what do you call it, rush hour. They
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And even the climate is really nice. They don't have typhoon. They don't have earthquakes because they're not part
Mm,
of the whatever it is that's called. So
yeah.
I was there before. I told my husband, if we have the capacity to do so. But it's a Muslim country, that's one thing. But they're very open. They're not that
Yeah.
strict anyways. So there's a place I
Ah,
would love
interesting.
to be. I would love to stay in Brunei.
Yeah,
The
lovely.
surrounding is it's so serene. They really protected the trees, everything.
Everything.
It's so nice. Yeah, it's so
Mm.
nice.
Oh,
No
beautiful.
pollution. The vehicles or the cars are very. It's a common thing that you should have a car there,
Yeah.
but it's not because they only have 300 population or 400,000 population. So just imagine how many people are there.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Mm.
it's the
What's your
simplicity
favorite
of life
food?
I look for. My favorite food, I would say, I would love to say, I'm a spice girl person. I'm a spice girl person.
Ah,
I love spicy food, but I avoid eating spicy food whenever I'm out and about because it irritates my stomach. So I only eat
ah,
it when I'm at home.
okay.
So
So
I
what
love
sort of
I love
food would you
eating
have then
spice.
that's spicy?
I love adobo with spice, with a kick of a spice. I
Mm.
love what's the kilo wind? That's how we call it here. It's kilo wind. It's a
Yep.
I don't know how it's cooked, but it's really yummy. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's a fish that I also love to eat. It's called it's the version of the kilawin. Kilawin is pork. This one
Yep.
is a fish. So it's
Nice.
the delicacy here in the Philippines, and it's
Yep.
really yum for me. perfect for me. Just
Mm.
spicy. Those are the
And
kind of things like
do you prefer beach or mountains?
mountains.
Mountains.
Yeah,
Mm.
I like the greenery,
Yep.
not the blue water. I just don't want, especially the sea. I don't
Yep.
like the sea. It makes
Ah,
no
really?
sense. Yeah, I'd rather go to the pool because
Yeah.
you feel like there's a confinement with the beach.
With the beach, there could be something under the water that you don't know, or
Yes, exactly. Could
well,
be
you would
really
not
wrong.
do any good here in Sydney then, because it's just beach, beach, and more beach
Oh, well, here as well,
and
it's
pool.
really, I've never been in the beach with a family. Yeah, really. I prefer pool, and I
Yeah.
like the place where there's a lot of trees. That's normally
Okay.
where we.
Mm,
I love that because we
interesting.
don't have trees here that much in my place.
Mm.
I like that's why I'm so in awe when I saw your place, and there's a lot of
There's a
trees here.
pool and trees. Yeah, we do have lots
Exactly.
and lots of trees.
I
So
know.
just at the front of the house, we have a bush reserve, and it's
Oh
just all
my.
bush and
I
animals,
find it
and
so peaceful, right? You can
it is
really
very
think
peaceful here.
of it.
Yeah,
I
I
like,
do love it, but I'm also a beach girl. I absolutely love the ocean
oh,
and the sand, and I love everything about
I
that.
can walk to the shore, but I don't really want to go to the water. Really,
Yeah.
I've tried it once. I got back immediately. I said,
Okay.
there's no rails."
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Because I'm not really a good swimmer. I can swim in the pool because I know how deep it is. I have an
Yep.
idea how deep it is. But when you go to the beach, you just don't know how deep you're going through. And
Yep.
there's no area where you can really get a help immediately. So
That's
that's
fair
why.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, one last question that I want to ask: what would you say to any up and coming VAs as they're starting to think about, working online? What would you say to them about your time at Virtual Elves and the benefit? I guess for us, there's two ways that you can work online. You can manage it for yourself, and you can try to get the clients yourself by putting yourself onto, Upwork or somewhere like that, or you can go through an agency like working with Virtual Elves. You've only obviously worked with Virtual Elves, but what would you say is the benefit of that?
First and foremost, it really gives you protection. That's one thing. On the side of,
Yep.
if you're thinking of someone who's mediating between you and the client, that's the best thing because you
Mm,
feel like you're protected. You feel like you can talk to someone except the client. I mean, the client is of course someone you can talk to, but someone who bridges you with the client
mm,
and you. That's a great thing because you know for a fact that you have someone to rely on to, and I
mm,
think that is really important. Another thing is you should also understand your niche, or if it is something that it interests you, not just because it's a demand. You
mm,
know, you just don't go here and work here because that's the fad right now. That's what everybody's doing, and you're not prepared. You
mm,
have to prepare yourself. You have to have the mindset of okay, I'm all by myself now. What should I learn? If I
mm,
prefer to go to an agency, is it something that I can handle? Can I follow the rules? Can I follow through what they're expecting of me? Because at the end of the day, like what I said, we are performing to the best. We should be performing to the best of our abilities because we actually represent a company or an
mm,
agency for that matter, and it would really be a not a good thing if we're ruining that image of the brand of that agency.
mm,
So you just
mm.
have to be decided, and this is not something that you just want to do now and then tomorrow you forget. I don't want to do it anymore. It's
No.
really a decision that you really have to take. You have to make yourself prepared for the skills. You have to really have that attitude because skills can be learned. Like like what had happened to me. I really am not familiar with all of these tools, but then because I saw the need for me to learn those things, I pushed myself. Hey, you have to learn to do this. You have to manage to do this. But the attitude, if you do not have the right attitude, then even if you're you're very smart or whatsoever, and if you think you are you are always the right or you're always right, and you don't know how
Mm.
to listen, you don't know how to be corrected, and you don't want people to tell you that you're wrong. You have to accept, you have to own your mistakes. You have to
Yeah.
learn how to accept that at the end of the day, you're not fit for this position, or you're not fit for this career.
Mm.
You should start working for yourself, and find your own, whatever it is that you want. You have to find your passion. If you're
Yeah.
not a people person, I think you will not last in this business, because we communicate with people, and we're not dealing with just um, computers. We deal with people, and these people has feelings. They has their needs. We all
Yeah.
have our needs, but somehow the reason you stepped into this career, because you want to be able to serve that particular needs of that client. So
Mm.
my again, it will boil back to mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Well,
Yeah.
I have to say, we're very lucky that we've had you for 5 years. Thank you very much for
Oh,
your loyalty. I really, I think back to 4 years ago when we first met,
yeah.
um, and that was just such a lovely time. And, it was very evident to me then that you would be someone that would be with us for such a long time. And,
Oh,
that was up to us. That was up to us to make sure that we nurtured that and that we encouraged that as well. So, I can't imagine that you will ever not be working with us as long as the business is around. So, for that, we thank
absolutely.
you. We're
Thank you
very
as well
lucky.
for. Yeah, I just want to take this opportunity, of course, to say thank you. 5 years is 5 years, and it's not that
Yeah,
easy to build a career in this kind of field. And I'm very grateful and thankful to God that I was given that opportunity with Virtual Elves. Um, the one thing that I always tell Cherry, of course, I'm dreaming to really have someone I can work on a full-time scale, but
yeah,
I know it will come someday, God willing. I'm very patient to wait for that, and
yeah,
I'm happy with the clients that I have. They may not be a full-time thing, but at least they're regular for me, so I'm taking care of
yeah,
them,
yeah,
and I'm happy with the relationship that we have. That client, we may not have the regular calls, but at least I know she can. I think, I believe she depends on me so much, and the same thing with her. I'm
yeah,
happy that I'm referring to Paula. We've never really talked after the first time we spoke,
yeah,
after the
yeah.
first interview. But then again, the communication is really good. We have already set up a communication channel for us as well.
And that's what
I'm happy.
happens. That's what happens. There are some clients that we have that I haven't spoken to in 3 years.
Yes.
For me, I haven't needed to because our virtual assistants look after them so well. And, it's that, I like the fact that I don't need to talk to them unless there's something that goes wrong. And the fact that it's
Yeah.
been 3 years is fantastic. It's,
Exactly.
um, and the business goes up and down. Every business goes up and
Yes.
down, and we lose clients, we gain clients. But I've always been very, very particular about this business, and it's one thing about me is that this is not a volume-based business. It never will
Yes.
be. I'm not interested in bringing people through the door that do not align with our values. Yes, I'm sure that there's things that we can do, but it needs to be right for all of us. So
Mhm.
I need to be ready to take on that work. This is my 10th year running this business, and I worked very, very hard in the first 7 years of running the business. I pushed
And
myself.
we're
I went to
celebrating for the 10th
We
year.
are. That's it, right? And, somebody said to me the other day, look, Kristy, I haven't seen you around much. You've really stepped back. And I said, yeah, I've actually really needed to. I'm a bit exhausted. I'm a bit
Yes.
tired. It's been,
Everybody needs the time to
that's it.
relax and to
And
ponder
I
for a
think a
while.
couple of years of me just sitting back and just letting it work its way through. I mean, the business never has lost money. It's always grown every single year, regardless. It might not be exponential growth. It might not be a
Yes.
multi-million-dollar business. But you know what? I'm really happy with that because it gives me
And I
the
hate hearing
lifestyle.
that.
Yeah, I hate that too.
Hearing that the 6 digit blah blah blah, the multi-million. I said, yeah, I think it can happen, but it will happen not over time. It will really take time for you to grow that business. But I think it's so
Mm.
promising. The promises will just pop out immediately and will be gone
Yeah.
immediately because
And if you
you're
stop
delivering.
providing resistance and push, 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 then it
Yes,
just flows back in, you know. And I think if you
exactly.
leave that open for it to flow back in, and you know, the difference for me is I I'm supported very well, you know, in my family. My husband has a very good job. I don't need to be doing this.
Yeah.
However, I want to do it. I'm passionate about it. I believe in the team that we have, and I will do it based around the values and, you know, comfortableness of me running that business. Because the minute the minute you push and push and push, it doesn't become enjoyable anymore.
Mhm. That's
You know.
true.
So for
I would
me, this
agree.
is an enjoyment. This is all enjoyment.
Exactly.
Mm,
If you're not happy with one thing you're doing, that's a problem, right?
yeah,
Because your
yeah,
passion will not be is not there at all. So
that's
it's the
right.
same thing with us. If we're not passionate about what we're doing, it, we will tend to be saying goodbye,
Well, you
right?
just don't take
Because
the care. The care's not
exactly,
there. I find VAs
yeah,
that have long-term relationships with their clients really care about what they're doing and the
true.
difference they're
That's so
making.
true.
Mm,
Yes, you can see the difference. You can really see
yeah,
the difference because there are VAs from your company who has been there for quite a long time, right?
yeah.
And there are VAs who comes and go, and so you
Well,
can see
that's
this.
it. But what we know, what I love about that is what Cherry and what I know very quickly, and what you know when you're seeing them, is we know within a week whether that VA is going to stay with us or not. We know by the
Certainly,
way that they communicate and the way that they work with their clients and what
you
happens. We
can
know.
sense it,
Yep.
right? Yeah,
Straight
you can
away.
sense it. When
Yeah.
I
And
was handling the HR as well, I can sense it. I told I've been telling Cherry, yeah, I know you're looking for the skills, but I have a very strong feeling that this person won't stay.
yeah,
So sometimes we're arguing about that because she may want to give that person a chance. So I understand.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
you
the
do
thing
know.
is, I told her exactly. I said, well, okay, give her a chance, but for me, I'm telling you, she might be a problem eventually. Because the
Yeah.
mere fact that she doesn't communicate with us clearly is
Mm-hmm.
already a red flag for me. The
Mm,
mere fact that she doesn't reply to the client's email whatsoever or whatever it is, it's another red flag. I'm
mm-hmm.
telling you, this person will not last long with us. And
Mm,
it happens. Most of these people that because they don't have that the feeling of need. They really don't have the
yeah.
passion of them. It's just that they want to try it.
They want
They want
money.
to figure it out. Exactly. Because you would send someone who's after the money, they would already ask, how much will I be earning? If that's the
Yep.
first question that pops out of
Yeah.
their mouth, I will be taken
Exactly.
aback.
That's it, right? That is totally right.
Yes.
It is totally
Yeah, that's
right.
true. We need to
Yeah.
earn. That's true. We
Mm.
need to earn. But then again, so like what I've been
We all
saying,
need to earn. We all need to earn.
exactly.
But if you place
But
that
it's
as your
a
number one
reward.
priority, yeah.
For me it's a reward. You have to work hard for it, and you would reap you would sow the seed that you're going to reap. I mean, you have to work hard for it rather
Mm,
than just asking. If you
yeah.
ask and then you don't see the values of what you're saying yet right now, and you cannot
Mm,
prove yourself yet, well, that's a
I
question of
agree.
your integrity, right? So
Mm.
just believe in yourself that you can do it, and then
There
if
we
it is
go.
meant to be given to you, it will be given to you.
That's it. And what a perfect way to end our interview.
Yeah, thank you, Kristy.
Perfect.
Thank you so much
Oh,
for
Tiny, thank you so much.
it's.
It's been so
I've been
lovely.
waiting for this.
I know you have, because you've been booking everybody else in, and then it's just like,
I
when's my turn?
I know, right?
It's perfect. It's perfect.
September. My time
Yeah.
is for September. I'll be booking those for October and November. I think there's one also for December for you. So,
Yeah, good.
but I
Well,
think you
thank you.
also have to have a new set of questions for 2020.
I agree. I'm slowly morphing the questions. You will understand. I'm throwing different ones in. And in fact, I don't even follow the questions a lot of the time. I
I
just throw them.
know
Yeah, because I
because I've
find that
been
it's a
seeing
better
it.
conversation. Yeah, I want to get the real answer, not what you've thought of
Yes,
before you come in.
it's
Yeah,
just a guide. Yeah,
yeah,
it's just a guide. That's why I'm also contemplating what will be the question. Oh, okay, this probably would be asked of me, so I have
yeah.
to be ready with an answer. So thank you so much.
Oh,
Five
it's my
years,
pleasure.
five
Oh,
years.
thank you. Thank you, thank you. And thank you
Yeah,
for all you do for Virtual Elves. We really appreciate it. It's a big
thank
thing,
you,
and you uphold our values very well. So,
thank
we
you.
appreciate that a lot.
My pleasure, and I
Mm,
humble myself. I mean, I'm so glad that I have a family, a virtual elves
yeah,
family, because it's really hard to look for someone who would look after you as well. That's why I
yeah.
always opt to work with an agency rather than just me working directly for a client. It's not
Yeah,
that I'm afraid,
it's
but I believe
protection.
exactly. And yet not only for that matter, you need someone to really rely on to whenever there's a problem. You can speak to someone
Mm,
because that also helps, the trust and
mm,
confidence of your client if they believe that they can, look for someone else to talk to. Sometimes it's really hard to just go and talk
yeah.
to the person you're involved with. So
Mm,
it sets the pace. Okay, maybe she misunderstood you or the vice versa. So someone would make sure that it won't clash and
yeah.
everything will be clear. So that's one
Love
thing I
it.
love the most. Thank you.
No worries. Well, thank you. I'm going to end this now. We'll catch up with you again very
Surely
soon.
after 1 year.